Defeat Vile with the X-Buster and leave him alive? Or defeat him with the Ray Splasher and destroy him? I have to think about this one carefully. Salvete Omnis, this is Amelia, also known as TheMartianGeek. And we've defeated Sigma, but we're not ready to put Mega Man X3 back on the shelf just yet. There are a few extra things to show off, most of which have to do with alternate plot events that you can get if you make certain decisions earlier in the game. For starters, what happens if you actually destroy, not just defeat, the special bosses before you meet them in the fortress stages? Well, let's find out for ourselves, shall we? I'm in a fight with Vile, and he's almost dead. But if you destroy him with the Ray Splasher, or defeat him with the Ray Splasher, I mean, instead of teleporting away, he will actually do his little dying speech here. Don't think that this is the end. I will haunt you to the day you die. And then he actually explodes. Mind you, you do not have to fight him entirely with the Ray Splasher for that to trigger. You only need to finish him off with it. So, I did the rest of that fight entirely with the Buster. And it didn't matter. I believe the Triad Thunder actually does the same amount of damage to him as the Ray Splasher does, but I don't think that you can trigger his ending sequence like that with it. So, on to the next special boss. Next up, Byte. He is weak to the Frost Shield, one of the few places in the game where it's actually useful for something. This Reploid's special abilities are too... No, it can't be... And Kablooey. Yeah, I guess that's one bit that got tested and cleared. Once again, only the last hit on him needs to be with the weapon in question. As you can see, I'm only down 1 unit of Frost Shield energy. So, that's 2 out of 3. And now for Byte. He is weak to the Tornado Fang.
No! How can this great power be generated from within such an ancient machine?
How can this great power be generated? Grammar!
Well done, X. The victory is yours.
Yeah, well, at least he congratulates me on it. And once again, he blows up. So that is all 3 of them destroyed now. Even fought Byte in the same stage I fought him originally in. So, we're back to the end of Doppler Stage 1, and the boss door isn't here anymore. No, now we have to climb this wall, and go into an alternate boss door, which explains why this room was so tall. I actually didn't realize they did that. Hey, I normally don't destroy Byte and Byte, so... I don't have too much experience with fighting this thing. Yeah, we're actually fighting a different boss this time. Meet the Press Disposer. It's a sort of junk-themed elephant, I guess you'd call it. It's one of those bosses that's annoying, not because it has a particularly difficult attack pattern, but because it's really hard to hit. You have to hit its eyes, or you can hit its trunk and eventually destroy it, and then I believe you actually get a little bit bigger of an area to hit. But destroying its trunk also floods the floor with acid, so... probably want to try to avoid doing that if possible. Also, hitting the thing with charge shots is really difficult. Because of the aforementioned tiny hitbox. And it and Kaiser Sigma. I guess probably the easiest time to hit it is when it's on the ground. Probably the only time you can hit it with charge shots, actually, because up here, the thing there blocks it. Okay, now it's dropping the acid. That came out wrong. But yeah, now we can't go on the floor without being damaged, and that's not fun. Which also makes it harder to avoid the junk that the thing drops. Its weakness is the Tornado Fang if you want to use it. And I am tempted to, because this thing is kind of annoying. Whether it's more or less difficult than Godkarmachine O Inary, I'm not sure. I recall that I had to use a sub-tank on that boss anyway. It's like nearly impossible to avoid the falling junk when there's acid on the floor. Seriously. Yeah, see, I tried. I really did. But it was futile. now the stupid thing's easier to hit. Just one more. Come on. There we go. Press disposer is down. It's up to you whether you want to fight that boss or the Bit and Byte monstrosity. Really. Particular advantage to doing one or the other. But that's the end of Dr. Doppler Stage 1, again. So now we're in Doppler Stage 2, and I'm starting from the beginning of this one because quite a few things have changed in this one, actually. You might notice the first one right here. The red mace guys have been replaced with these guys, who are actually rather annoying because they have a lot of health, and you can't take it down all that quickly. Because as far as I can tell, shooting them while they're exploding doesn't actually do anything. So, why not equip the spinning blade here, because I've done the stage several times now, and it never really went well. I just kind of want everything in this stage to die. So, yeah, skip the enemies, take hits, whatever. Don't care about any of you people. Or robots or whatever. And right armor platform that I'm not going to use this time. It would probably be best not to take a right armor, unless you're going for the frog right armor. Because now the stage has water in it. And instead of the red guys, we have turtles. Yeah, well, they're certainly easier to deal with than those other enemies. But you might want to destroy all of them, especially these two. Because then they'll get in your way as you're trying to climb up here. Now, mid-boss door. Since we defeated Vile, there actually will be a mid-boss here, but the important thing is we can actually use Zero on this mid-boss. This is the only boss door in the game that you can actually take Zero through. So yeah, you get to see me playing as Zero, if only for a brief period of time. Well, why not prepare a fully charged shot? Not a charged shot. It's this bug thing. Some sort of mosquito, or I don't even know. But you do not want it to catch you. It loves to dive on you, and if it grabs you, it can drain your health very quickly. So when it's passing over you, dash. But it crashes and explodes right on top of Zero. Zero, why the heck did you not move out of the way of that? It wasn't exactly coming at you fast or anything. Yeah, so now Zero's down for the count. What was that explosion? Zero, are you okay? Sorry, X. I failed. Seems my power generator is damaged. I'll try and make it back to Dr. Kane's lab for repairs. You can't tell what is waiting for you, X. You better take my beam saber with you. Crush them all, X. You are our last hope. So, if we do that, we actually get the Z-Saber, which acts as an extra level of charge for our X-Buster. We have those shots as normal, and then we have a Z-Saber slash that also produces a projectile like that. And that projectile is very powerful. It can do a pretty good chunk of damage to normal enemies, and it can actually take out half the health meter of bosses. Yes, this includes Sigma, and since the next thing I have to show off just happens to be after you defeat Sigma, I think you can probably see where I'm going with this. Annoying red guys, and now these guys are showing up too. Also these, the missile-dropping enemies. And that just insta-killed him. Stupid red enemies. Oh yeah, and sometimes they jump over your shots too. The enemies are supposed to go down easily to a lot of repeated shots, but not those. Oh yeah, the snail part. I was not looking forward to redoing this. But here we go. Gone. We are riding up a wall upon a snail. Whoever made this level section, they just failed. We're riding up a wall that's covered all in spikes. This part is one nobody likes. So I will just stand here and make up these dumb lyrics to the stage music, cause this part is tedious and I have nothing better to do with my time. Yeah, that happened. But seriously, this part once is boring, doing it twice is even more boring, and I missed by a mile with that Z-Saber slash. Yeah, the Z-Saber is considered the ultimate weapon of X3, the ultimate secret weapon. It's X3's answer to the Hadouken and Shoryuken and all the Street Fighter themed special weapons that you could get in X1 and 2. And I actually like it a lot better because it doesn't do as much damage as X1 and X2's secret weapons, but it's a heck of a lot easier to use. You don't have to have full health to use a Z-Saber. But, speaking of things we could potentially use it on, it's boss time, and since we destroyed Vile as well, what do we have? What are we facing here? Oh hey, there's water here now too. I don't know what this thing is called, but it is weird looking. Actually not that hard if I recall. Easier than Press Disposer at any rate. It's weak to the Frost Shield. And I believe it's actually vulnerable anywhere, so... Oh hey, there goes the Z-Saber. See what I mean about how quickly it destroys bosses? Okay, so you can't hit that bottom part of it. It's not really that hard to dodge most of what it throws at you, though. I mean, if it does hit you with an attack, the fact that you can do damage to it generally quicker than it can to you, and of course having this overpowered weapon that takes out half its health in one swing, or one projectile, doesn't hurt either. Yeah, that's Dr. Doppler Stage 2, Round 2, cleared. There's nothing special in Dr. Doppler Stage 3, at least I don't think anything changed. So we will cut right to Sigma, and all that that entails. And now, the final stage once again. We don't get a cutscene with Zero there as we did last time, though. Remember, Zero's out of commission because a giant bugbot fell on his head and whatnot. We do still climb up the ladders and up the wall leading to Sigma's chamber, though. Oh yeah, and we skipped through all of Sigma's dialogue because we already saw it all and we don't really care. Now there's a certain aspect of this battle that I really wish I'd thought to do and show off during my first fight with him, but I didn't, so here we go. That is that there's actually a pretty easy way to dodge his sequence of 6 fireballs. Basically, you want to get up to the top corner of the room opposite him, and then jump kind of in the middle of the battlefield and do 2 vertical air dashes. Sometimes you can get away with just doing 1 depending on where you jump and when, but either way, then you pretty much dodge his second sequence of fireballs the same way, just air dash upward. Mind you, sometimes he'll do the diagonal fireballs instead, and I'm not really sure what the best way to get around those is. Well, at least to determine which one he's going to do so you know where you can stand safely. Without learning anything like that, you can pretty much dodge his fireballs all day without really taking much damage. Yeah, see, there's the diagonal fireballs. Mind you, just avoiding damage from him wouldn't be much fun. We still want to do some to him. That's why we have the spinning blade. Its trajectory means that, pretty much, fire it around the same time he's shooting his last fireball, and it's almost guaranteed to hit him no matter where he decides to go. Of course, if you shoot it too early or too late, you're not going to have much luck, but... Of course, we're not really here for the spinning blade and a strategy that's pretty reasonable. We're here for a completely unreasonable strategy involving beating the daylights out of him with the Z-Saber. Now, of course, if I can just get the Saber off... I think there probably is a way to tell whether he's going to do the diagonal fireballs or not, or at least to make him do one or the other. If there is, I haven't figured out the pattern. There we go. So technically it doesn't really take off half of his health, it's a little closer to 2/3. But it still does a pretty good chunk. Actually, the amount of health it takes off seems to vary a little bit, because it seems to do multiple hits. So I guess depending on where he's standing and how fast he's moving and whatnot, it could do different amounts of damage. Revenge! Sweet Z-Sabery revenge! Yes. Mind you, that was just the first form of Sigma, and now we're onto the second. And the Z-Saber actually doesn't really do as well on the second form of Sigma as you might expect it to, because no matter how powerful your weapons are, there's still that whole really tiny hitbox problem. So that becomes an issue, especially because the Z-Saber is so large. And also because you apparently can't fire the saber while you're hanging off a wall, or at least you can't fire it away from the wall, which is really kind of annoying. So yeah, it's not an instant victory button or anything. I would still recommend coming in with full subtanks, just in case. See what I mean? Completely missed him. How disappointing. I missed him again. See what I mean about the saber not going away from the wall? That's really annoying. So, there we go. Got him. Oh yeah. Bye-bye, Sigma. Yeah, probably you're only likely to hit him with it once. Or at least you'll only need to hit him once. But still, it's a pretty nice weapon for taking him out. If you don't mind being overpowered, at least. No, it can't be. I can't defeat you with this magnificent body. Blah blah blah, I will possess you. You know, is it just me, or does Sigma sound just a little bit like a supermodel or something with that quote? Like, behold my magnificent body. I'm sexy and I know it. Yeah, cue lava escape sequence. And I was trying to avoid the head running into me, but that didn't work. But yeah, run down the hallway. And it's a dead end once again. But this time... Hello there, floating Sigma head. How you doing? Nobody's gonna be possessing anybody, because, guess what? It's Dr. Doppler! Yeah, since Zero had to be repaired, he can't come in to save us this time. So Dr. Doppler does instead. How do you feel now, Sigma? Do you like my special vaccine for the Sigma virus? X, I'm sorry to have given you so much trouble. You know I can never really atone for what I have done, but I will try to set things right by taking Sigma with me. My program is fading. X, it's time to say goodbye. Farewell, Dr. Doppler. You will be missed. You are at least cooler than Sigma. And with that, that's it. I'm not going to show off the whole credit sequence again, of course, but that is everything I have to show off in Mega Man X3. If there's anything else you guys would like me to show, then feel free to speak up, but for now I'm basically done. I mean, oh yeah, and since Zero got damaged badly, he's not standing here with X this time. He's just all by his lonesome. But yeah, we have successfully turned back time and seen the other side of certain plot threads. Tio and Lipty would be proud. And with that, Mega Man X3 is officially done. So stay tuned for my next project, whatever that may be.